Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Expo Center. Thanks for joining us. My name is Mark Sindicich. I am the current chairman of the York County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board. It's truly an exciting time to be in tourism industry. 200 million travelers travel to Pennsylvania every year, pumping $40 million into the economy. The York County Convention and Visitors Bureau job is to bring as many of those people and their spending to York. We're doing some excellent work. Demand for our hotel rooms in York County is up nearly 5% this year. And we have new lodging opportunities and offerings for more options for visitors. There are many reasons for this success. We've got downtown York in the midst of a resurgence. The culinary scene in York is among the best you'll find in any small city. We have an amazing history, engaging factory tours, outdoor recreation and attractions like the Mason-Dixon Wine Trail, the Susquehanna Ale Trail, and the brand new Keystone Craft Spirits Trail. But York County Visitors Bureau has tapped into another lucrative tourism market, sports. 10 years ago, the CVB developed its own Sports York, business-to-business brand, aimed at luring sporting events to the area. It's been tremendously successful, bringing thousands upon thousands of athletes and their families to York County. In many cases, we're talking about youth athletes, and that's a key for us because compounding the economic potential for our community is very important. These young athletes are great opportunities for return visitors as students and residents and ensures York County's vitality for years to come. Without giving away too much, sports are why we're here today, so I'm going to turn it over to Laura Guerreri, Director of Sales with York County CVB, for a little more.
Thanks, Mark. It was about a decade ago that we created Sport York, a business-to-business brand, the first of its kind in Pennsylvania, positioning ourselves as Pennsylvania's premier sports destination, and it paid off. Every year, thousands of athletes, their families from all across the Mid-Atlantic and the country really, come to York County for volleyball tournaments, for swim meets, for wrestling matches, and more. You'll see our hotel lobbies packed with athletes sporting their team colors, teammates enjoying a pizza together after a day of competition, maybe catching a ball game downtown, watching the Revs clinch that championship title. Our entire community is benefiting. In 2017 alone, we estimate that sports will be an economic driver of more than $25 million in spending here in York County. Nationally, sports tourism is a market on the rise. According to the National Association of Sports Commissions, visitor spending associated with sports events in 2016 surged to nearly $10.5 billion, a 10% increase from over the year prior. Even better news, sports tourism is generally resistant to economic downturns, something that we saw firsthand here in York County in 2008. There are more other intangible benefits. Many times, as Mark mentioned, these are youth athletes coming into York County. This is a very valuable audience for us to reach because while they're here making memories with their teammates, they're also learning about York County. We want them to know that York County is a great place to visit, of course, but York County is a great place to further their education. York County is a great place to start a career, and York County is a great place for them to eventually call home. In rare instances, sports tourism gives us an opportunity to tap into something greater, something bigger, and that's the human spirit. And this is the case with today's announcement. On behalf of the York County CVB and York County's hospitality industry, I am truly honored to announce today that Special Olympics of Pennsylvania has selected York County to host its newly created indoor winter games in 2019, 20, and 21. The Indoor Winter Games will kick off in March of 2019 and will feature ice skating and speed skating at the York Ice Arena. there will be floor hockey and an opening ceremony celebration here at the Expo Center, and bowling will take place at Colony Park Lanes North and Laser Alleys. We'll welcome coaches, staff, officials, volunteers, all here to support approximately 650 competitors ranging in ages from 8 to 80. York County Convention and Visitors Bureau estimates that the Indoor Winter Games will bring an economic impact in excess of $2.25 million to York County over the course of these first 3 years. And while we recognize sports as a powerful vehicle for economic success, the Special Olympics reminds us that more importantly, sports drives values, compassion, teamwork, and inclusiveness. Sports can bring us together like few other things in this world, and the Special Olympics is a fine example of that. It has been exciting and humbling to work with an organization that changes lives every day, all while instilling these values. Of course, there was I'm sure you can imagine, a high level of interest in hosting this event, and we faced fierce competition throughout the state. And so we are very, very honored that the Special Olympics of Pennsylvania has entrusted us to host this inaugural Indoor Winter Games. We hope that York County will be a home for years to come. And with that, I introduce Matthew Aaron, President and CEO of the Special Olympics of Pennsylvania.
Thanks, Laura. Thank you, Mark, and good morning, everyone. I'm truly thrilled to be here this morning for this announcement. We are so excited to be bringing our Indoor Winter Games here to York. As Laura mentioned, it was a competitive process, but at the end of the day, York offered us so many things that made it just a great fit for us. You have amazing venues and facilities here in York. For us as a statewide organization, we always look for a couple of things when we put together a multi-day, multi-sport competition. So not only are we looking for great venues, but we're looking for the convenience of those venues to one another, and we're looking for a location that is convenient to the majority of our athletes coming from all over the state. And York certainly offered us all of those things. So we are thrilled to be coming here with our Indoor Winter Games, but as Laura said, it's much more than sports. So Special Olympics is, of course, a sports organization, but at our core, we're more than sports. We're an organization that looks to transform entire communities. And we believe, and we're so excited about this event, because we believe that we found truly a great partner that shares those values with us. So when you look at our other culminating state competitions that we currently offer, our summer games, our fall festival, our traditional winter games, each of those are multi-day, multi-sport events, and each one in its own right has a very unique personality that makes it very special to our athletes and our coaches. And as we think about the opportunity that this Indoor Winter Games presents to us, what gets me so excited is I see the potential for these Indoor Winter Games to build and establish their own unique personality as well. And specifically, my hope is that a couple years from now, these Indoor Winter Games are known not just as Indoor Winter Games, but as the Inclusion Games. So I think that the best opportunity, the special opportunity we have here in York, is that over the next couple of years, these games become known as the games that pull not just our athletes and our coaches and our staff together in Special Olympics, but these Indoor Winter Games become known as the games that unite, unify, and inspire the entire York community. So it's my pleasure to be here today with you. This is an exciting moment and day for us, but my hope is that these games become not just that once-a-year event, but they become the spark that transforms this community year-round. So now let me introduce Representative Kristen Phillips-Hill, one of your local representatives here in York and also a member of the board, to share her thoughts about this great event. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Good morning. I'm Representative Kristen Phillips Hill. I represent the 93rd Legislative District, and I'm very proud to be the delegation's representative on the Convention and Visitors Bureau. March of 2019 is more than a year away, but it's not too early to get very excited in anticipation of this event coming to York County. So on behalf of my fellow York County legislators and elected officials, I would like to welcome the Special Olympics to what we certainly hope becomes your long-term home for the indoor Winter Games. And I'm very pleased to be joined today by two of my York County House colleagues, Representative Seth Grove. Representative Stansaler was not able to join us this morning, but he's here in spirit, as well as Representative Keith Gillespie. We're also joined by Lisa Miller of Senator Scott Wagner's district staff. More often than not, the economic impact of sporting events of this magnitude is what we hear about the most. But we shouldn't lose sight of the ability of athletic competition to raise a community's quality of life. Granted, the athletes probably derive the greatest benefits: better overall health, camaraderie, self-esteem through participation. But we, the public at large, benefit from the Special Olympics as people of all races, creeds, nationalities, and intellectual abilities love sports. And really, it's because of their universal appeal. The Indoor Winter Games will be an opportunity to change attitudes and perceptions about people with intellectual disabilities through the power of sports. And that's why, even at this early point in the timeline, we encourage the entire York County community to join us in celebrating this event. And when the Games open in March of 2019, we hope to see everyone out cheering on these amazing athletes. The Games will be a wonderful opportunity to hear and see stories from people we generally don't know. And when it comes to the participants, very familiar face who's been a great ambassador for the Special Olympics. And we, as a community, are very proud to claim Loretta Claiborne as one of our own. In addition to being a York County native, Loretta is one of the most accomplished athletes you'll encounter. She's won several Special Olympics gold medals. She's run 26 marathons and is a past recipient of the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage. Please join me in welcoming Loretta Claiborne.
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here. I was born and raised in this city. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about York that people don't know about. But York is the home of the York Peppermint Patty, now a product made in Mexico, product of Hershey. And they taste good, but not as good as they were when they were here in York. York was also the first capital for 2 months. And a little bit of my history, my mother was the first African-American baby born in York Hospital that sits out in the hill. And our family was the first family to move in Parkway projects. So I do have some history. My cousin was the second African-American chief of police, Mike Hill. He still resides here in York County. He's up in Dover. But now I'm going to talk to you about Special Olympics. Special Olympics will bring over 1,000 athletes here. I know floor hockey is a huge sport, and we have floor hockey as a sport. It'll probably be played right here in this arena. With the bowling, that's another big sport. You probably have over 300 athletes, plus bowling in our 2 bowling centers. Figure skating, that's the sport I do in the winter. I also play floor hockey, so now I'm going to have to make this decision here. And I love both of the sports, and I'm an athlete. That's why I'm dressed like I'm dressed. I could have dressed in a suit, but I said, hey, this is my hometown, and I want to be dressed like an athlete because this is what I do. Today I'll get off from here and go home a little bit, get a cup of coffee, and tonight I'll run and probably go to the gym. But when I look at York and I look at what's held here, we always talk about the youth athletes, but Special Olympics, like you heard somebody said before, they bring athletes up to 80. And we do have a phenomenal senior Olympic Games here. But what would come with our athletes would be the joy and the spirit of the sport. And I'm hoping that one day, right here in York County, in the schools, that we'll have a unified champion school, where people will learn, kids who are in the school level, lower level, will learn about persons with intellectual disability, break down the stereotype of bullying. In the high schools, where they had got that education, they'll be able to participate in sport together, unified, inclusiveness. Sport will be played with an athlete or a school student, high school student, with and without intellectual disability. So that's neat, because when I went to school here, it was bad. I was like a nobody. It's just a shadow walking. So these are some of the perceptions we want to change here in York County, in our schools, in our communities, with our athletes. Today, Mrs. Ploppert and I, one of my coaches, we were walking across the street and I said, "Where's everybody at?" And she said it. She hit the nail on the head. Most people are working. That's a good plus for our athletes. Real good plus. And it'd be a greater plus for our athletes in our community here when our games come here, the winter indoor games. I think it'll be powerful, not only for our athletes, but for the community. You at the Visitor Center, I hope you will work with us and advertise our games coming here. Because when we work together, things turn out great. If we work apart, we have nothing. Just the athletes and just their families. So thank you for having me here, and thank you for having my hometown. Of course, I live in the city of York, which is in York County, with over 700,000 people, to have us all come and play together, and soon everybody know we are an inclusive community. So thank you, and may I say this, may God bless. Inshallah, if God's willing, we'll have good games and be back. Thank you. I said that in Arabic because I'd just gotten back from Abu Dhabi. Shukran. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Loretta again for joining us today. She's really touched the lives of thousands of people, and the story continues to serve as an inspiration to everyone. Thank you very much. We'd also like to thank Matthew for the opportunity, the Special Olympics of Pennsylvania, for the work that they do every day and for being included in their plan to bring it to York County. I'd like to thank the local legislative delegation for coming out this afternoon, and I'd like to recognize the CVB, Laura and the rest of the staff for all the hard work that they've done in working together to try to bring this together. We've got partner venues that are going to be supporting all of these athletic endeavors. The York Expo Center, York Ice Arena, College Park Lanes, and Laser Alleys will be some of the venues that they'll be participating in, and we're looking forward to them joining us there. Hosting an event like this magnitude is truly a team effort. We appreciate everything that everyone's done to bring the Special Olympics of Pennsylvania together and make them feel welcome. A couple last comments. York County's built an impressive resume, hosting some prestigious sporting events, and none of it would be possible without the hospitality and service our visitors find every time they visit. So thank you to everyone in York. We look forward to welcoming the Special Olympics Indoor Winter Games for 2019, 2020, and 2021, and we thank everyone for coming today.